Hey, in today's video we're going to install our faucet here into our pedestal sink, and I'm gonna walk you through that process. Hey, this is Marco from Handyman Solutions. Let's jump right into it. So as you can see, we need here a faucet as well as a drain, and that's what we are gonna cover today in today's video. So first thing, as usual, we're gonna utilize our manual. I already spread it out. There's a couple of tools we need. So we need a bigger wrench, then a little bit of a smaller wrench. We need some hoses to connect to the faucet. So 3/8 and 1.5 inch connection, and then of course we got our faucet right here. And we also need silicone, and we need something to clean the sink. I'm gonna use alcohol, that works very well, and then just a rag. So let's get started, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do that. Again, first thing what we want to do is we want to familiar ourselves with what we need to do. So we got our nice faucet here, and we got the sticker, so we will know in the future the faucet type we installed for parts. So this is basically pretty simple. We got 2 of those plastic nuts which will go over here. So we feed that in from the top and connect those plastic, thread those in, and then we got the hoses. We connect the hoses to the valves down there. We already replaced those valves, they are in the off position. So if you're gonna change your faucet, you come to this point to install the new one, they'll still be closed. And then the last part is we want to install that drain lift assembly, and we should not forget that little washer here, and it already tells us top and front. So we're going to put that on here, and then from another video you may watched it, you could see that we installed a pedestal sink in part 1. We're going to continue in part 2 to put the base on it, so we only could finish part of it. So that's basically, we just feed it in. So then, as I said, we're gonna go with those plastic connectors. We just reach down here. Let's go down there, have a look. Back up and make sure it does look straight, nice and straight. So you push it all the way to the back, and then we reach underneath and tighten those. So that's all it needs to be, hand tight. And then the next thing is already those lines. And I like to start from underneath, just go down here and thread them by hand till I get started. Do that on both sides. We want to make sure before we install it that there is actually a gasket in it, so I checked that before. Sometimes what happens is, there's quality control, and sometimes they miss a gasket, so we don't want that if we can prevent it. I like to roll them like this and then just connect them, still leave them loose so they can, let's see, now because this is a pedestal sink, we don't want to have that roll hanging out on this side. Let's redo that. Here we go. Okay, so one thing you want to make sure is that this radius here is enough so it doesn't bend the hose. So this is a good radius. I think, if I remember correctly, it shouldn't be less than 2 inches. So I think that should be fine. Again, we can use a big or small wrench. I like to use the big wrench. And then I'm just gonna tighten those. Okay, so in the meanwhile we're gonna prep this drain. So we want to make sure that rubber gasket is all the way down here. So these slots are actually for the overflow. This is just great. Then this one here is where this ball will get fed into it. So we can already loosen that. And then we're gonna put that on here. So, and this one here we go for number 3 now, just for now, and see how that works. May need to be adjusted. All right. Okay, so it looks dry. So then I apply here a bead of silicone, and I use white, or you can use clear. A new cartridge. So then we're gonna place that in here, and then I like to turn it a bit, so to make sure the seal is really everywhere. And we'll lift it, so as we can see we have a portion where we don't have enough. So some people like to use plumber's putty, but I'm more the guy of the seal, because I want that to be in here forever. So then we feed that from underneath through there. Okay, so we want to make sure it's tight. Then we have to align it to the back. So see, this needs to point to the back, otherwise it's not gonna work. And then we tighten this nut here with the seal. So this is then the seal which seals everything. Okay. Again, we just hand crank that. And now it's the time where we're gonna remove the excess silicone down here. Okay, so next thing, we're gonna feed that through from the top. Back here is a slot. Okay, so as you can see that a rod comes through here. So there are 2 ways to install that. So one way is we either feed it through, or we just place it on the side and it is not connected, so we could remove it. I like to feed it through, so I don't want people to mess with it. So we're gonna make sure, so we wanna line that and then just tighten it a little bit to see what we're up to. So we need to adjust that screw here a little bit, because as you can see back here, it's a little bit too long. So it's not in his optimum position yet. Yeah, this is okay. So I think that's good enough. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, it works perfect. Okay, so we're gonna leave that. That's exactly how it should be. So we leave that alone for now. And then we're gonna focus here on the drain. So we're gonna cut this lever here a little bit. You can adjust that, just cut it off. And this doesn't need to be that long. So, but for now, as you can see, it works. So we leave it. Okay, so the next thing is we have to install the drain, and we need our P-trap, and I cut that already to length, so I can just install the gaskets. Same here, I have need to use an extension. I'm going to feed that through here, the gasket. All right, so extension. Then I'm gonna just tighten that a bit. Same here, so we got the gasket already in here. Or, you know, for better demonstration, we put it on here. Right, here we go. Not sure if you can see it, so it's plumbed. We will we'll have to wait a little bit to let this silicone dry before we open the valves. We're gonna come back tomorrow when I finish the video. Okay, all right. Okay, if I not come back for some reason, so I hope you enjoyed the video. You learned something. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the install and what you could have done different. Appreciate watching, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.